I want to say hello and welcome to my first episode of my podcast, literally the Life Path 777. Um, there, I wish I had a more structured sense of how I wanted my first video to go, but I think that um, to keep it uniform and things like that, um, I'm a very non-linear individual. So I'm okay with my podcast seeming non-linear or seeming non-traditional because as you guys continue your journey with me, you'll realize I am a very non-traditional yet traditional based person and things like that. So just I felt like my first episode should be geared more towards myself and more towards what I wanted to give to you guys as a collective and what I wanted to see even within my craft myself. So I wanted to start with the name, literally the Life Path 777. It's very interesting and things like that. I got that name because my life path is 7, and I noticed that as I did a little bit of research, life path 7s are very known to be the teachers, the learners, the guiders of the collective, and things like that. That is also something I want to get into on my podcast as well, actually breaking down life paths and things like that. So, um, yeah, my life path is 7. It's geared towards teaching and learning and guiding and things like that. And I noticed throughout my entire life, I just felt like certain things that were just normalized in life were not normal. And I realized that I had a deeper understanding, a deeper perspective on a lot of things as I continue to work through a lot of the things that I'm going through. Shit, the stuff I'm going through now, the stuff that I went through beforehand, and things like that. Um, in my daily life, when I speak to people, people find a lot of substance and value in the things that I say. So I felt as though it would be really good to be able to actually create a platform for that and create a platform for people who want to expand beyond what they may understand and what they may know. Um, there's a lot of misinformation and there's a lot of missing pieces to life that I feel as though if people had that missing piece, that missing perspective, it would help them understand what they can do for themselves to aid themselves and things like that. So, like I was saying, my life path is 7, so it's very much geared to me teaching and learning and growing and all that other stuff. And I noticed that I do operate out of that a lot. So, yeah, that is why it's called literally the Life Path 777, very expansive and things like that. Um, and so, yeah, so a little bit about me. My name is Aaliyah. I am 22. I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. However, I actually live in New Jersey. I am going to be relocating to. Um, Actually, I'm not going to say that. That's another thing I'm going to tell you guys. Learn to protect your dreams, protect your manifestations. Some things aren't always meant to be said. Some things are, and some things aren't. But I currently live in New Jersey. Things like that. I do work. I'm a model. I also work at a consignment shop. Things like that. I do a lot of personal research on astrology, um, Akashic records, self knowledge, self awareness, the mind, how the mind actually plays into what people understand about themselves, and things like that, and their perceptions on reality outside of them. So yeah, I'm actually I'm extremely excited to be able to show you guys that aspect of myself, to show you guys that perspective of myself, and things like that. And I want to be very raw. I want to be very truthful with this experience. Sometimes I may come on here and I may just look at y'all for like 5 seconds, be like, yes, it's getting real. I want it to be like a conversation, hence why there's even a comfortable background and things like that. I want this to be a comfortable setting. I want this to be a conversation as if I'm like your older sister or something like that, and we're talking about something. I want this experience to feel tight knit and comforting to those who need it. Because sometimes, in my life, I feel like I need certain things, and I realize that if I'm able to put it out there, that'll make more room for the things that I also want to see. So, you know, um, I, like I said, I'm 22. Live in New Jersey and things like that. I'm also creative. I like to write. I like to write anything really, like music and things like that. Like meditation and things like that. I wouldn't really call myself a spiritualist because I feel as though sometimes those communities can be toxic, which is something I will be getting into within this podcast and things like that. However, I like to call myself a conscious being. I'm very aware of a lot of things, and I think that people will grow to learn that the world does operate off of energy, and we do need to be more attentive to the energies that we're giving out, the frequencies that we're giving out, and things like that. So yes, I am since I was a little girl, I've always been super self aware of certain things around me. I've always been super self aware of myself, my mind, how I thought. I've been super aware of experiences around me, other people, and things like that. I can also consider myself an empath. So when I was a child, I used to soak up a lot of things and not understand what was going on or why I felt the way I felt or why I felt like at points in times I was even being punished for the things that I felt. But as I learned to sit and listen to my mind, I understood that my mind was never against me, that I was trying to sheerly protect myself and things like that. And a lot of times, most people are trying to protect themselves. And so I feel like I've been saying, I feel like there's so many perceptions, there's so many perspectives, there's so many thoughts and experiences that people have and things like that I want to continuously expand on. I want to be able to be a beacon of light. I want to be able to be a beacon of healing. I want to be a beacon of love and things like that. So my podcast is really strictly geared to expansion and expansion in any and all forms. That's the thing. Expansion does not come in one form, but expansion in all and any forms. Emotional expansion, spiritual expansion, physical expansion, all of these things. I want to be able to use my gift of discernment, my gift of knowing, and things like that to be able to bring you guys really healthy perceptions and perspectives on relationships, connections, relationship with yourself, relationship with your friends, relationship with your family, your romantic partners, things like that. Shoot, even the relationship with the outside, nature, things like that. I really want to be able to be a healing perspective for people. And so, with this is where I'm going to close out. I want to say thank you all so much for even waiting for this first episode because I know that I've been working hard um, within a lot of things in my life. I wanted to heal and get to certain perceptions and perspectives within myself because, as a lot of those who are first listening may know me, you may know that I lost a few people in my life recently, so that's been kind of a little bit of a harder thing to deal with. And I never want to get on any platform and speak from a place of just per like not perception because I think there's no perception that is wrong, but speak surely from a place of how I feel instead of how I understand what has happened to me, which is a tie of how I feel, but is also the solution that I brought forth for myself. I want to always bring solution. I want to be a beacon of solution and things like that. So I wanted to make sure that my mental was where it needed to be in the sense of being able to understand my experiences and know how to articulate what I need to articulate, but also to not give you guys hurt. Energy transferring is very real. I didn't want to give anybody the hurt or the pain that I was experiencing. I wanted people to be able to see that they're not alone and there is love, there is support. You know, if we see it, then that means it exists. So yes, this is me closing out. This is the first episode. I want to say thank you to everybody that actually listened and tapped in. I am looking to drop an episode maybe every other week because I do work, so I don't want to promise you guys something and I don't actually end up getting it out. But I want to be able to provide you guys with an episode maybe, yes, every other week, I would say, and things like that. I'm thinking possibly like Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday. Um, you're gonna follow my social media, of course, and things like that. It's gonna be at the end of the video and stuff like that to be able to actually get an update and whatever you guys want to talk about, whatever you want to hear me expand on, DM me if you have my number, text me, things like that. I want this to be a dual conversation, a duality based conversation. I want people to be able to get something from what I'm talking about. And I don't want to just be talking about bullshit if that's not what you guys want to hear. I want to be able to talk about the things that you guys really want me to talk about and things like that. So, this is the first episode. I want to thank everybody for tapping in. I appreciate you. This first episode, a clip of it, I'm going to put on my Instagram, and the rest that you can actually watch on my YouTube, which you're probably watching now. But as I said, thank you guys for even listening and being present and finding value in what I say because I think that that is very important. And for all those who told me to start my podcast and to put my information out there and to start speaking and say what I need to say, I appreciate you kindly because, life isn't always a softer road. And sometimes, it's hard to put yourself out there if you felt like you have beforehand and you didn't really get the response that you wanted. So this is me, throwing away my fear frequency, putting away all my past anxieties about myself, about how people perceive me, about am I even deserving of recognition or love? I'm throwing away all of that imposter syndrome and I'm giving you guys love. I'm presenting you guys love and things like that because that's all I really want to learn to operate within. So, like I said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I should have something for you guys possibly every other week and things like that. We will have a few guests and things like that. Um, and I'm excited. I'm very excited for this journey. I'm very excited to see where it takes me. I'm very excited to see whom I can connect with and things like that. And I hope you guys have a beautiful, healing, gratifying week. I hope that everything goes your way. I hope that you learn something. I hope that you feed your mind, body, and soul. I hope that you take care of yourself. I hope that you learn to know that you deserve to take care of yourself. Peace and love, and I'll see y'all in a couple weeks.